Hello and welcome to the United Stand. How are we all doing? Marcos Rojo is the legend of Argentina. He puts them through to the next round. And isn't it fantastic how many Manchester United players are doing fantastically well in this World Cup? It never ends, doesn't it? Rojo for Argentina, Lingard for England, Lukaku's doing it. It's fantastic. But we talk about Manchester United. The World Cup is parked now till tomorrow. And spoken about at lunchtime in relation to Fellaini, we're going to be talking about Bonnuci, Godin and Milinkovic-Savic, amongst other things, and taking your live comments. But I tell you what, I've got a bit of a theory. Fellaini is going to announce his future on Monday. I've done the video on that if you've not seen it. But a lot of meltdown from it. A lot of people not happy with Fellaini. And I've got a theory on this. What if he cannot announce his future until Monday? People are sort of saying, oh, he thinks he's the new Griezmann. He thinks he's Antoine Griezmann with his announcements and everything like that. But what if he can't announce it till Sunday because his contract doesn't actually expire till Saturday night? And Sunday's the first time he can legally do it. Now, somebody told me that actually, if he's going to a club in England, he can't announce it before Sunday anyway. Legally, he can't do it. So maybe he's going to Arsenal, which will make it the best Sunday ever. If he's going to Arsenal and Fellaini's leaving United, imagine how good Sunday's going to be. It's going to be banter-esque, isn't it? But we wait and see with that. But my other theory is, what if Fellaini, for all the criticism we've given him over the years, what if Fellaini is going to be the saviour of Manchester United, as it says below? Fellaini to save United, because there is a lot of people reporting this, and it may just be people putting two and two together. A lot of outlets saying Manchester United will go all out for Milinkovic-Savic as their replacement for Marouane Fellaini. Now, we know the contract's been on the table for Fellaini to sign and he's refused to do it. So if he leaves, it's of his own accord. And if him leaving means we get Milinkovic-Savic, I think that will be the best assist Fellaini's ever given Manchester United. It will be the best thing he's ever done as a Manchester United player. Fellaini goes and Milinkovic-Savic comes in. I mean, that would just be absolutely amazing. Obviously, Real Madrid are probably in for Milinkovic-Savic. Juventus as well. I don't understand the Juventus thing, though. I've sort of touched on it a bit. But Emre Can, Golovin, Martial, potentially. They're linked to so many players and they haven't got so much money. So I don't think he's going to go to Juventus, Milinkovic-Savic. I think Manchester United can get that deal done. And he will also be absolutely perfect as a replacement for Marouane Fellaini because he is 6'3", 6'4", Milinkovic-Savic. He can be... Basically, Mourinho loves Fellaini because of his height. Because he's got nothing else. He can't pass, he's not quick, he can't dribble, he can't particularly tackle very well. So Milinkovic-Savic would give us the height of Fellaini, but he'd give us all the other things as well. Imagine that. I would be so grateful for Fellaini if that was to happen. Christian Medina says, real shame, Argentina win one game and go through. Mexico haven't lost and face elimination. Football, bloody hell. PS Fellaini out. I think Mexico will be absolutely fine, Christian. I don't think Mexico will have any problems at all. I wouldn't worry about that, but... Argentina, France on Saturday afternoon. One of them's going out, isn't it? So Argentina may just get a stay of execution, I suppose. But yes, Milinkovic-Savic, let's have a look. Trust me, Juve have moves to make to afford Savic if they want to do it, says Manchester Skulls 18. And they had one shot. Yeah. Well, I'm not talking about Argentina too much. I'm just very happy that Rojo's done it. And he's a United player. And he was a bit lucky on that penalty, but I didn't think it was a penalty. So let's see what's going to happen with Fellaini. One, he's got to go. But two, if he does go and Milinkovic-Savic ends up being the replacement, wow, that would be absolutely amazing, wouldn't it? Also in the news, we've got Duncan Castles actually was saying this afternoon that United are monitoring and very interested in Bonnuci from AC Milan. He only actually went to AC Milan, I think it was last summer, maybe the summer before. I think it was last summer, wasn't it, when AC Milan started spending all that money. But AC Milan may be about to get hit with some financial restrictions themselves, which means they may want to move some players on. Now, I got a lot of stick on Twitter for this, surprise, surprise, because I said, Bonucci's a fantastic player, I watch a lot of Serie A, but that I can't see United doing that deal. I can't see us going in for Bonnucci. 6'3", 31, he's just turned 31, but... As I've said many a time, the Premier League is a graveyard for Italian defenders. No Italian defenders have ever come to the Premier League and done even consistently well. There's an odd few that have done okay. The vast majority do terribly. Look at Darmian. There's lots of examples. They don't do very well. And Bonnucci is somebody who is absolutely ingrained in Italian football. It's what he knows best. To come to the Premier League at 31, I think would be an absolute nightmare for him. It's quick. He's not quick. He's a brilliant defender, but I think that would be a move that maybe Mourinho would go for it, but I think it would be a big mistake on United's part to do that because, and I love Serie A, but it is slow. It is slow, and a lot of people are having a go. Oh, you don't watch Italian football, this, that, and the other. Well, I've watched Italian football for over 20 years. It's slow. It's always been slow. Even when it was the best league in the world, it's always been slow. It's slower than the Liga, and it's slower than the Premier League. The quality is good, but it is slow. So I wouldn't be going near Bonnuci. But also, it's been mentioned, is Diego Godin of Uruguay, who is a year older. He's 32, 6'1". He's slow himself. He's about the same pace as Bonnuci, actually. Potentially, he's available for around £18 million because he only has a year left on his contract at Atletico Madrid. People said, well, why would he leave Atletico Madrid? Because he's been there since 2010. He was formerly at Villarreal. Why would he leave Atletico Madrid when he's got such a good partnership, such a good relationship with Simeone, and he does really well there? And effectively, it would come down to money. He is 32. This will be his last contract. Can Atletico Madrid offer him the sort of money that maybe Juventus are linked to him again, or a Manchester United? They probably will try and offer him good money, but I think he can earn a lot more money elsewhere. I would take Godin at Manchester United. I would, and it goes against absolutely everything that I've said in the past. That another old player, and he's 3 years older than Toby Alderweireld, who I didn't really want because of his injury record and age. He's 2 years older than Boateng, who I don't really want because I think he's too slow. But he's quicker than Godin. But I think he's shown in this World Cup, which you have to take with a pinch of salt, but he is the best centre-back in the world. I think Godin's the best centre-back in the world. He's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And he's consistently been that for Atletico Madrid. His positional sense, the way he reads the game, what he's like on the ball, his strength. I just think if that became a possibility for Manchester United, and for 20 million, and let's not forget, we're looking at players like... we're looking at players like Alderweireld, Boateng, all of which would cost around 50 million. If you can get Godin, yes, he's 32. He'd probably give you one. He's not pace reliant anyway, so he'd probably give you 2, maybe 3 years. But what he would bring to our defence, especially people like Lindelof, people like Bailly, the experience. It's the way he constructs his centre-back partnership as well. It's the way he leads it and reads it and orchestrates the back four. If you could bring a player like that into Manchester United for a couple of years, imagine Lindelof and Bailly's growth with a player like that to learn from. And I think he could do it more than Bonnuci could do it, because Bonucci's Serie A, Godin is La Liga, which is quick, and obviously he's done it in the Champions League, the Europa League. He does it for Uruguay. He's a very, very experienced centre-back, and I would do it. Adola Abul says, Mark, what do you think about Jose Maria Jimenez? If we're talking about the lad from Atletico Madrid, he's very, very good. I just don't know that we would be looking to do a deal like that. Darth Vader says Godin will be retiring at Atletico Madrid. Well, far from saying it's going to get done, but it's a potential possibility. Nadim says, you said Varane is the best. I do like Varane. He's not gettable. But, you're splitting hairs, really. I do like Varane, and I may well have said he's the best in the world in the past, but Godin is impressive, isn't he? He's been very impressive this season for Atletico Madrid as well. Godin is aggressive. That's the main attribute. He likes to rile people up. He has leadership as well, says United Red Devil. And this is disgrace in football. Referee for Nigeria and Argentina match robbed. He should be banned, says David Benny. We're not here to react to Argentina. Rojo's a Manchester United player. He scored a good goal. I watched that game on That's Football as I'm doing the watch-alongs, and to be honest with you, I don't have a problem with that referee tonight. I thought he got it right. I thought he did. I thought it wasn't a penalty on Rojo. It wasn't a penalty. I know the ball hits his hand, but he heads the ball onto his hand. It wasn't a penalty for Iran last night either. They are not handballs. And the goal that Argentina scored to win it was the goal that Higuain should have scored. It was an easier chance. So Nigeria had their chance as well. They had their chance with the goal and didn't take it. It was just a good game of football, and Argentina won it. And I think, I understand people wanted Nigeria to win. I did, and I understand people wanted Argentina to go out. But the reality is, they're probably going out on Saturday anyway. They're only staying for 3 days more because they're going to play France on Saturday afternoon, and I think that France will have more quality. But that's the World Cup, isn't it? I don't think the ref was particularly bad tonight. Skriniar, just before we move on, Skriniar is the centre-back at Inter Milan. There was something that came out today that this has been rumoured quite a lot, that United want him. He's 22, I think, Slovakian centre-back at Inter Milan. He's only been there a year. He's done fantastically well. United apparently really interested in him, and there was talk of a £60 million bid that Inter Milan wouldn't even entertain. However, if United go up to €80 million, they will sit down and negotiate. Now, €80 million, £70 million. I don't think we can afford to do that. But I would like Skriniar. I do like the look of Skriniar. As much as I don't think we'd do it, that sort of signing would be brilliant. But it's going to be for Manchester United. It's going to all be about what money we've got to spend and how we spend it. And but I do feel that things are starting to happen now. They are starting to happen because we're coming to that point where a lot of teams are leaving the World Cup. By next Tuesday, we'll be down to 8 teams in the World Cup, and I just think that maybe clubs have just sort of let the World Cup have had its first couple of weeks and let it have the glory, but I do think it's going to start coming back to the club focus. I mean, I saw a tweet from the United official account today saying that it's only 3 weeks until we go on the US tour, which for many people will be like, what? 3 weeks till we go on the tour? I mean, how can that be? Are we going to do any transfer news? Or are we going to do any transfers or not? But we certainly will do. And as I said last night, I think we're going to sign at least 2 more players. Because I don't really think Dalot I think he's a brilliant signing, but I don't think he's a signing for now. I think he's one for development for next season. So effectively, we've only signed 1 player. Sunday's going to be a massive day. I mean, we'll have the stream ready for that on Sunday, whatever time it gets released. That Fellaini either goes or he stays. If he goes, we're definitely going to get another midfielder. And next season, when you want to be critical of Mourinho, that's when we start playing football matches. But at the moment, it's all about what we do in the transfer window. What are my views about Rabiot from PSG? Not for me. I know a lot of people do like him, but not for me. It's not the sort of player we want. I think there's better midfielders out there, and I think we need to go for those better midfielders. Please do drop a like on the video if you're watching. Let's see if we can get up to 500 likes while we're live, and please do share the video while we're live. What I want to do tonight is take a lot of comments and interact with you on the live comments, because I think sometimes there's so much for us to talk about. That I don't always get to do that, and we used to do it on a Saturday night, but with the World Cup at the moment, it's been hard to do it. Koulibaly, Mark, says Zane_scope. Well, let's see how Senegal do. Senegal, I always call them Senegal for some reason. Senegal do. I think he's been a good defender for them. I think he's a good defender for Napoli. But again, I think it's how much would he cost. There's something about Koulibaly that the Premier League clubs seem to be avoiding, even though his natural attributes would suggest that he'd be quite good in the Premier League. He sort of reminds me of a Bailly, an Eric Bailly, a sort of Varane sort of defender who's very tall, but quick and combative. So I think I'm surprised he's never really been, gone after by Premier League clubs. And it certainly cost around £60 million. And United have tentatively been linked to him this summer. We never previously have been. It's interesting. We are getting linked to a lot of centre-backs, and I'd certainly like to see us sign one. What about Nabil Fekir, says Devil's Ace? My stance on that is that... brilliant, actually. I just want to say this as well. I'm happy to say this. Look, I said it on the Instagram videos, which we're doing at the moment. If you're not following us on Instagram, I think there's a link in the video description, because I'm doing a daily sort of 2-minute video on Instagram every morning now at about 10 o'clock. And I did say this morning, and I'm glad you reminded me, that... Look, I've been critical of Jesse Lingard in the past. I have. And I still think, even if he scores 10 goals in this World Cup, it's in the World Cup for England, and the World Cup is not the Premier League. It's certainly not the Champions League. I think that if you want to win a title, Jesse Lingard is a bench player. I think if you want to win a title, Ashley Young is a bench player. I think if you want to win a title, Ander Herrera is a bench player. I like all those players, but I think that they are squad players. They are not first teamers. But... would I sign Nabil Fekir when we've got Jesse Lingard? No, I wouldn't. I think Fekir is a good signing, but he's a Liverpool signing. It's Liverpool's signing that they've messed up. And I don't want to see us jumping on a mistake by Liverpool to bring a player in. Jose's done this in the past. He did it with Willian, who was going to Spurs and he took him to Chelsea. He did it with Salah, who was going to Liverpool and he took him to Chelsea. Fekir was pretty much a Liverpool player. Or, decent Liverpool credible accounts were saying this is going to be done in the next few hours. And it fell apart for some reason. He's a Liverpool player as far as I'm concerned. I don't want him at United. And also, Jesse Lingard can do this. Jesse Lingard, I don't think Fekir would start for United either. I don't think we need that sort of a player. Mata's probably going to move on, so maybe he'd replace him. But I think, I don't want Jesse Lingard to be sold. I know some people do. I don't want him to be sold. I know his antics off the pitch annoy the older fan base, and that's fine. It's just, different times. I know the youngsters absolutely love him. He's not a starter for me, Jesse, but his improvement over the last 12 months has been amazing. And I think actually where United fans went wrong is that they think Lingard had a great season, and he didn't really start very well. He was brilliant from about end of November to end of January, and actually after that he was quite inconsistent as well, because I think Lingard was impacted by the Sanchez signing, as Pogba, Martial and Rashford were. But he's picked it up again in the World Cup with the freedom that he's been given by Southgate. He's playing in a sort of midfield three with an advanced role. He's running off the ball is amazing. He's an explosive player. He's got a good finish on the edge of the box. And I think he's a major asset to Manchester United. And I think off the bench or starting, Mourinho thinks he's a starter. I'm not convinced about that. But he's a massive asset. And I said this the other day. If Lingard was to be sold by Manchester United, I'm not joking. He's 25, nearly 26. He's got to be worth 80 million quid. So for all the criticism I've given him and other people have given him, he's a real asset to United. And I personally would take him every day of the week over Fekir, because he's a young lad. Well, he's not a young lad now, but he's come through the youth setup. And his desire and passion to do things in a United shirt, I think, are commendable. I really do. So I want him to stay. He will stay. And I don't want us to sign someone like Fekir, because I'd rather Jesse Lingard did the job. And I'm not saying Fekir is bad. I just think we got Jesse, and that's what he should be used for. Jesse was great in the Dukes of Hazzard, says Ivor. That's a blast from the past. Okay, Ryan, I agree he had half a good season, but his progression over last season, what's it going to be like next season? Gabriel says Lingard's not going to get any better, which I sort of do agree with, but that's why he would be a bench player for me. And I hate it when people say, oh, he's bench player is such a derogatory term. The best bench player I can think of was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he was one of the best strikers in the world. Manchester United need quality on the bench, and a bench player isn't somebody who's sat there all season getting a couple of minutes here and there. A bench player is someone like a Phil Neville or a Nicky Butt, who plays 40 games a season because they come in for players when they've got a knock, they come in for injured players, they come in to rotate. So a bench player for United is as important as a first teamer. So don't ever think when I say a bench player that I'm being derogatory to them. They're a massively important part of the squad. And football these days is becoming more and more like rugby, because the fitness margins are so close between teams that the effective use of your bench can be so impactful. Savage is not right for the Premier League. Pogba and Darmian and Morata all looked great in Italy, says Dave B. That is a very, 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 very valid point, to be fair. And the speed issue that I mentioned with Bonnuci at the start of the video is as valid as it is with Milinkovic-Savic. And he did look very slow in the last game. If you are watching Brazil-Serbia tomorrow night, make sure you get yourself onto That's Football. We'll be live here at 9 o'clock anyway, as per usual. But I am doing a watch-along on That's Football for every single World Cup game. But I will be doing Brazil-Serbia tomorrow night, which I think a lot of us will be watching anyway. But I'll be really keeping an eye on Milinkovic-Savic, because he was ridiculously slow in their last game against Switzerland. But he's not normally like that. So I was wondering, is that because of the Italian league? You know, because the Italian league is a little bit slower. But I think Milinkovic-Savic, look, Fellaini's not quick. He's not quick. Milinkovic-Savic is quicker than him. And I think as a replacement for Fellaini, that would be jackpot for Manchester United. Apparently Darmian's agent is in talk over Juventus, says Pankaj. The most boring transfer saga of the summer. I mean, that deal just needs to be done. I don't even want to do a reaction to it. I mean, I think we'd get about 5 views. Darmian signs for Juventus. I mean, has he actually... What has he done in a season? And this is like if we keep Daley Blind and Darmian at the club, it will be a joke because we didn't use them at all last season. They've got to go. They're the most obvious sales of the summer for United because he didn't use them last year. Blind was hardly used, which I think was a bit of a mistake, really. And Darmian, when he was hardly used either, they've got to be sold. They have to be sold, surely. Skriniar is the best, says David Hope. He's a good player. I'd like him at United, but I think we'll be priced out of that. Nate says, can you just give a very, very quick recap? So we started off talking about Fellaini to save United, because if Fellaini does announce he's leaving on Sunday, which many people are hoping for, then there's a lot of talk that United will go for Milinkovic-Savic as his replacement. Actually, he would be the perfect replacement because he's the same height, but he actually can play football. And there's a lot of United fans like me who don't like the style of football that Fellaini brings to United. But I like Milinkovic-Savic with his speed. He can switch the play, he can create, he can score. But Mourinho would love the height of him. So it ticks all the boxes for everybody. We're also talking about Bonnuci being linked to us, and we were talking about Godin as well. I would take Godin even though he's 32. Bonnuci, I like Bonnuci a lot. I worry about the fact that I think he'd get torn apart in the Premier League because it's a lot quicker than Serie A and it's a lot less organised defensively. He's used to playing in Serie A with well-organised defences because that's what Serie A's always been about. He won't find that in the Premier League, so I don't think he'd do particularly well. Do you think that Demi Mitchell could be given a chance next season if he has a good pre-season, says United Red Devil? He went on the US tour last season, never really got a look in. I think he's a really, really good player. I like Demi Mitchell, and he did quite well for Hearts on loan. It's a good outside comment. Let's see. Let's see if he goes on tour. I like him a lot, but he's not. I've not heard anything that he's even considered to be a left-back option for next season. And what I would say again is it's a bit like if Luke Shaw stays. If Demi Mitchell gets promoted, all he's going to be is an understudy to Ashley Young. And if we go with Ashley Young next season, we ain't going to win the league. That's my feeling anyway. TM Griffiths picks up on that point. Fosu Mensah, Andres Pereira, Demi Mitchell back in the squad. Interesting. Let's see what happens with all three of those. Thoughts on Philip Max? 5 years on Sandro, 12 assists in the Bundesliga from Augsburg, could cost between 20 and 30 million. That's from Omar Khan. I've heard a few people talking about Philip Max in the last week, and I don't really know why, because he's not been linked to United for about 3 weeks. So I don't know why he's back on the agenda. I said at the time when he was linked to us a couple of weeks ago, we mentioned him on the Transfer Daily, and I said, for me, he's a bit like the fullbacks that we got linked to from Napoli. I think Gulam and I forget I think it was the Estonian, or I forget what his name is. Skraz. I can't remember anyway. Who are your typical decent fullbacks, but are they creme de la creme? Are they top class centre fullbacks? And with Philip Max, I just think he's a good fullback, and I don't think we need a good fullback. I think we need a top class left back. That's what we need. And I don't think Philip Max provides that. Yes, he's got a lot of assists and he's done very well for Augsburg, but it's in the German league. And the German league, I'm sorry to say, isn't that good. It's not that good. Beyond 2 or 3 teams, it's not that good. So I think he'd drowned in a club like Manchester United. I think the step up's too big. And this is a lad who's not even getting in the German squad or even close to it. So for me, no. But it'd be an interesting signing if we did sign him, and I'd hope it would work out, and I'd trust Jose if he did it, but I just don't think so for me. We will be doing US Tour watch-alongs this summer, Adam Webber. In fact, as I pull my little diary out, because I had a message from a mate today who said, are we still on for Jason Manford on the 20th in Birmingham? And I said, no, we're not, because I can't go out on that Friday night and get absolutely hammered because we're playing at 3 a.m. against Club America. So I'll be up for a watch-along for that. But I don't know whether it's 3 a.m. on the Friday or 3 a.m. on the Saturday. If it is 3 a.m. on the Friday, I suppose I could do Manford on the Friday night. But yeah, I think the World Cup final's on the Sunday and United are playing on the Friday. So football never ends. Football's coming home. Probably not with England, but it's coming home for United. Yeah, this World Cup's getting interesting, but straight after the World Cup, 5 days, we'll already be on the tour anyway, and then we've got United tour games, which I bloody love. I love doing the watch-alongs for them. Brilliant, can't wait. Karen Kapoor says, amazing match today. Yeah, the World Cup's been fantastic, hasn't it? But I'm really impressed with the United players. That finish from Rojo was bloody brilliant, wasn't it? And it's great that the United players are getting the glory. Look, if you wanted Argentina to go out, I think they'll be out on Saturday. France will knock them out. So it's much of a much, really. It's just sad for Nigeria, isn't it? David Hope says, Fekir is good, but he's not United standard. I'm a Chelsea fan. Am I in the wrong place or something, says Shola Coca. It is a Manchester United fan channel, but you're all welcome. And I do appreciate that your own club's fan channels are a bit shit. And I'm only joking. Have you got any? Don't watch Jason Manford. He's a City supporter, says Dr. Chunky Biscuit. That's it. I'm not going. That's it. Do you think Argentina will surely go out to France, says Young Lord? I think I'm more interested in watching Argentina play France than I am in watching France play Iceland. And I do like Iceland, but I think it would have been another easy game for France. I think Argentina-France just is a bit more mouth-watering. And I probably do want France to win that one, to be honest. If Savic comes in, where would you play him and who would you play him with, says Alex M. Very good question. Godin is a dream, says Mike Jones. Rashford needs to get game time in the World Cup. Vital for United, says Kevin. I think he will play on Thursday night. And France aren't playing Portugal, James Carter. I think you need to check your World Cup world chart because someone's been messing around with it when you've not been in your room and changed it around. Still don't think we're in for Savic, says DJ Dale B. They have no fans marked to watch a fan channel, says Carl. And Xander has to do France v Argentina, says Aaron Cunningham. Fellaini will do a 40-minute documentary and in the end that you will announce he's going to stay, says Amith. I won't be watching it. But going back to Milinkovic-Savic as to where he would fit in a Manchester United team, he would replace Fellaini. And Fellaini, as we know, under Mourinho, played a lot of games. So there's your answer. Mohish says, best United fan channel, long live the United stand. Thanks, pal. We're not doing great for likes tonight. We've got nearly 2,000 people watching. Please do smash the like button. Let's get up to 500 likes while we're live. And I would much rather Savic go to Juventus and develop a bit more. He isn't ready and won't impact us to the tune of 100 million quid, says Manchester Skulls 18. Interesting. And Jay Coulthurst says, I've got a love-hate relationship with the transfer window. You know what, though? I've got to say, I may have said this morning as well, that the World Cup has surprised me. The transfer window, the last 3 years we've done it with the United stand, the transfer window from the middle of May to the end of August is full on. There's no downtime, it's full on. Even with the Euros 2 years ago, it was full on. What I've noticed over the last 2 weeks with the World Cup is it's just, the foot's gone off the pedal. It's gone really, I wouldn't say it's gone quiet because we're linked to players, but it's gone very sort of like you don't feel we're doing a deal, which I think is going to change in the next couple of weeks because it has to. But it has been weird, and it's not just been the same for us. I mean, Man City, Mahrez, everyone knows they're going to sign Mahrez, and everybody knows that that's going to happen, and everyone knows that they're going to sign Jorginho, neither of which are at the World Cup, but they've not got those deals done either. It's weird. It's like there's some sort of unwritten law that nobody's going to do any deals over the World Cup. Really weird. What about Verratti for Pogba, says Bichel. I'm glad I've been asked this right at the end because it's an absolute nonsense. An absolute nonsense. That is total and utter nonsense. Paul Pogba. It's lazy. Whoever wants to do videos or more importantly, write articles about Verratti for Pogba, they're not doing their research. Pogba said quite recently, I'm from France. I've got no desire to play in Paris. And that was recently. That was in the last couple of months. On top of that, he's played in Serie A. He's played in England. Going to the French League would be a massive step down for somebody in their mid-20s. He may go La Liga. He may go back to Serie A at some point. But to go to the French League for Pogba would be... That would be... Verratti coming to United and Pogba going to PSG, he would be like Di Maria. He would be a failure. That would be a failure signing. And Pogba's never going to let that happen. So... Verratti might come to United, but Verratti for Pogba won't happen. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Pogba's miles better than Savic, the Serbian fraud, says Mark Fresh. Well, Pogba needs to do what Mourinho needs to do next year. You've got Mourinho off the pitch, you've got Pogba on the pitch, and basically they've had 2 years which you could look at and go, They've progressed and they've delivered to a certain extent, but there's no consistency. They're not pleasing the United fans consistently, and United need better. And Mourinho and Pogba are in exactly the same situation. The third year will define them. It will define them. Martial plus 800 million and one EPL medal for Neymar, right, Mark, says Daniel Stelly. Pogba has played world class in about 6 games since he signed, says K YouTube. Yeah, we need him to do a lot more than that. Modric at 32, still a great player, says Dave B. Any update on the Martial situation, says Mossin. Only what I said last night, that United and Mourinho won't let him go. I don't think they will let him go. Unless he does something, which I don't think he will do, unless Martial absolutely adamantly says, I want to leave this club and there's nothing you can do about it, I don't think United will let him go. I think they'll work on it and make him stay, and they'll turn it around. I'm not giving a recap money, but I've done it before and it gets boring for everybody else. Neville's son signed for Manchester United, Tom Wood. Yep, Phil Neville's son, 15 years of age, has moved from Valencia to Manchester United. Another 15-year-old signed by Manchester United, which is interesting, isn't it? We're doing that quite a lot now. 15, 16-year-olds. I think it's going to be really interesting for Manchester United over the next 2 to 3 years, because there are a number of players that we have signed that are 15, 16, 17-year-olds coming to Manchester United, and in the next 2-3 years they're going to be hitting 20, 21. So how good are they going to be? There's no update on De Gea contract talks as far as I'm concerned. I'm sure he'll sign them. I mean, if anything, this World Cup will have made De Gea even happier at Manchester United, because the way he gets treated by the Spanish press, as I said last night, is a joke. Why would all he's getting in a Spanish national shirt is a glimpse of what he'd get at Real Madrid. Every little thing he does scrutinised and jumped upon. At United, we love him. He's the best goalkeeper in the world, and he'll be forgiven any mistake because he's been brilliant for us. That is the place for De Gea, and I'm pretty sure he'll understand that. What do I think about Real Madrid eyeing Lukaku, says Lucas Lettner? I think they will. I think it's great. I think it's good. I mean, Lukaku's had his critics. I still think he needs to improve on certain aspects of his game. But what can't be denied is he'll score lots of goals. And I said this the other day. Of course Real Madrid would look at Lukaku. Real Madrid's number 9 is Benzema, who does a lot of work, but his goals to game ratio for a team like Real Madrid is abysmal. Lukaku's goals to game ratio at United is already amazing, and he gets half the chances Harry Kane gets. So you stick Lukaku in a Real Madrid shirt, he works hard, he's unselfish, and he gets goals. He'd be perfect for what Real Madrid want. Are they going to get him? No chance. He's not leaving Manchester United this summer. Maybe next summer that starts to become a problem with Lukaku, or the summer after that. But for the next year or two, he's a United player. But, maybe if he continues doing what he's doing for club and country, Real Madrid will come knocking, because I tell you what, him and Harry Kane and one or two others are comfortably the best number 9s in the world at the moment. And I wouldn't have said that about Lukaku 3 or 4 months ago, but what he does for Belgium, and it's not about the World Cup, it's about what he does for Belgium, whether it's qualifiers or not. And yes, the standard's not as good, but we've seen what he does for United in a team that's very slow and pragmatic. We also see for Belgium what he does, and for Everton, in a team that moves the ball quickly and hits teams on the break. And he scores goals in all sorts of combinations. Lukaku just showed if he gets more chances, he will score more, says DJ Dale B. Exactly. Fellaini to Roma to replace Nainggolan, says Renegade Red. I think with Fellaini, I liked the theory, and if you've not watched the Fellaini video we did at lunchtime, go and watch it after this, because it's only about 10 minutes long, and there's a lot of opinion on it there on whether he's going to sign or not, because at the moment it's a bit unsure. But the one thing I did like was, after I did that video, so I'm not ruining it for you, is that somebody messaged me and said, if he's going to a club in England, he can't do anything. It's not about holding off. It's not about building the hype. He cannot say in a press conference today, I'm going to sign for Arsenal, because he can't do that if he's going to an English club. He's got to stay quiet until his contract's expired. So if he's going to Arsenal, I'll tell you what, we're having a party on the United stand. We'll have an all-dayer. If it gets announced at 10 a.m, we're going live, and we're bantering it, and we're laughing, and we're having a party for 10 hours. It's going to be the best show ever. It really is. Thanks everybody for watching. Please do drop a like on the video. I forgot to say as well, we've done the Fellaini video at lunchtime, but also, if you really enjoyed Flex and Rant's video that they're doing on a Tuesday, really go and watch it, because Rant's has caused a few problems with what he said about Luke Shaw. Some would say it's controversial. I think it's just what his opinion is about the Luke Shaw situation. I don't agree with it, but I didn't do it with Flex and Rants. So if you haven't seen it, I think it's entitled Mourinho Running Out of Time, because they're talking about how long is left of the transfer window and how much they can do. But the second topic is Luke Shaw, and Rants goes in quite hard on Luke Shaw. So if you've not seen it, it's probably in your suggested videos. It's certainly on the homepage. Well worth a listen if you are into United and you want to see somebody going in quite hard. Give it a watch. Go through the homepage, or if you can see it on your suggested videos. Thanks everyone for watching. Please do drop a like on the video. I'm back with Transfer Daily tomorrow. And remember, tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, I'll be live straight after Brazil versus Serbia. Milinkovic-Savic, let's see how he does. Let's see if he can put in a performance against them. But yes, go and watch the video with Rants and Flex as well. Very good. Speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching.